Senator Wofford represented the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in the U.S. Senate in the 1990s, I believe it was. He also has a long history of public service here in this country. He was a special assistant to President John F. Kennedy. I believe he worked on Robert Kennedy's campaign in 1968.
Right up here, too.
Right up here in northeastern Pennsylvania. And also worked in Governor Casey's cabinet in Harrisburg. A very good friend of the Casey family. So I'm pleased to introduce Senator Wofford here. I have a few words with him. Thank you so much.
I'm delighted to be here. I promise one thing, that the food for thought I'm bringing will not interrupt the real food you're going to get in about 15 minutes, as I understand. And secondly, I want to say that I'm tremendously impressed with what the neighborhood centers are doing. And I qualify for, I'm very interested in the new youth centers because I've headed the National Service AmeriCorps program and was one of the leaders of the Peace Corps. But now I'm interested in the Senior Corps and what seniors are going to do in this country, and not only how they're going to be served better and Social Security secured better and strengthened, but how the experience of the greatest generation, so-called, can be tapped in different ways. Scranton and the Caseys and Bob Casey the first were a very important part of my life, and now it's come full circle. I'm campaigning with his son Bob, who boldly, urged by his 4 daughters to say what he thought, which was that Barack was the right man to be our next president, to say it boldly and to campaign for him around the state and around the country. And Bob Casey's a very careful, thoughtful man that I respect greatly. And he said, and is saying every day now, this is a candidate I believe in more than any other candidate in my life. And he pauses and sometimes adds, except my father. And why is it that Ted Kennedy and Carolyn Kennedy and all the survivors I know of the John and Robert Kennedy administrations are supporting Barack Obama? Why is it that we see that the torch that John Kennedy lit and Robert Kennedy lit has been picked up by Barack Obama? I think it's that we sense that the country needs people, a president that will pull us together, that will go beyond the partisan wrangling that prevailed so much in the Congress of the United States and in Washington in the 1990s, and even more, far more in the first decade of this century. Barack has, as people who have worked with him 8 years in the legislature in Illinois and now in the Senate, Chris Dodd, a whole range of the senators that I respected the most, having worked with Barack Obama in the Senate, they believe that he has the knack of pulling this country together, of reaching out and bringing the forces together to get universal health care, which was the issue that I raised, the banner I raised and carried to Washington, and it was in tatters at the end of the First Lady's hard effort to get health care, but an effort in which she didn't seem to have the ability to reach out to key senators, including Democrats like Patrick Moynihan, the chair of the key committee. He felt she didn't listen. It was her way or the highway. Now, I have great respect and affection for Hillary Clinton, but I'm asking you to think whether it isn't the time for a new leader, a fresh leader, turning the page and writing a new chapter that's truly a new chapter instead of going back. I'm very interested in any comments or questions that you would put. But Barack Obama has an understanding that when the American people now, by the highest rating in any poll of 50 years, asking the question, are we on the right track or the wrong track? The American people now in the key poll on that question, 85% say we're on the wrong track. And it's when we're on the wrong track that things can really happen. We were on the wrong track when Franklin Roosevelt not only gave a great speech saying we have nothing to fear but fear itself, but said we have to come together as a nation and have action together and action. And many of us are saying to you that we think, from our experience, that we have such a candidate now. And we don't want to miss that opportunity. We have spent going on $1 trillion of money that could have been invested in making Social Security secure for as far into the future as we can think right now. Could have invested in the needs of our country. $1 trillion for a war that we shouldn't have been in. And Barack Obama was one of a number of leaders in our country, but not the First Lady and not others who went along with the military, who from the beginning knew it was the wrong war, it was diverting us from the real assault on terrorists in Afghanistan and elsewhere, and that it's robbing the American people of the resources we need for investment in our infrastructure, in our schools, in our older Americans programs, and it's time for the change that the American people are waiting for. Barack Obama offers us that chance, and it's one of those moments when Pennsylvania's vote is going to matter, and your vote can matter.